think it's a coincidence that all these movies with legend in the title, these action movies that are remakes of beloved movie characters, all of them that have legend in the title, all end up being really awful. Like, really, seriously, Legend of Hercules, The Legend of Tarzan, and now we have King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Is it just a coincidence, or is it just me? Who knows? Hey everyone, welcome to the review. Here's my review for the movie King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. Yes, this movie stars Charlie Hunnam, Jude Law, Eric Bana, Djimon Hounsou, Aiden Gillen, and this movie is written and directed by Ritchie. Yes, Ritchie, the guy who gave us movies like Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. You know, great British crime movies back in the day and stuff. Oh yeah, he also gave us Sherlock Holmes and Sherlock Holmes 2. Pretty decent films and stuff, and now he's got this new King Arthur movie, and from the trailers, this movie really didn't look very good. I am sorry. Between its, modern music and its weird training sequences, this weird modernization, but also past tense of King Arthur, it just didn't look very good. The trailers didn't, trailers didn't wow me and stuff, and anytime they make, these big, epic medieval movies with these big CGI monsters and stuff, they never really turn out all that great. Look at a lot of the Greek mythology movies and stuff, and there's just a lot of shitty movies. Look at The Seventh Son and shit like that. Like, most of the time, these type of movies, when you see trailers like that, most of these type of movies end up being absolute shit and stuff, and yeah, what a shock. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, ended up being really awful. This movie was not good. So yeah, I actually got an early screening for this movie at my movie theater, and yeah, I was kind of curious about it. I was a little skeptical, but I'm like, maybe it's good. It's Ritchie. Ritchie makes some great movies. This is not a great movie. No, it's not good at all, and it really sucks, because Charlie Hunnam just did a movie I saw a few weeks ago, The Lost City of Z. Amazing movie, an amazing performance, one of the best performances I have seen Charlie Hunnam give. In his filmography so far, it's his best performance. And now I just watched one of his worst performances. Yes, Charlie Hunnam as King Arthur is awful. He is terrible in this movie, so bad. He's not the worst, but he is awful in this movie. He has no depth to him. He is so bland. He's just this irritating lead character, and he was horribly written, obviously. He's not a very well written or compelling or three-dimensional character, but Charlie Hunnam gives him no justice, and he is not at all good in this movie. Not at all. Jude Law probably gives one of the worst performances, though. I love Jude Law. Jude Law is great. He's the king of charisma. He's right there with Dwayne Johnson. He was not good. He was the bad guy, and I couldn't take him the least bit seriously as this villain. He was not good at all. Same with Eric Bana and Djimon Hounsou. Those are great actors, and they're great in these type of movies. Like, look at Eric Bana and Troy and Djimon Hounsou and Gladiator. These guys are amazing in these type of medieval films. They were awful in this movie. Just freaking terrible. The only person I actually didn't mind was Aiden Gillen. Yes, Littlefinger himself from Game of Thrones is in this movie, and he wasn't that bad. He was probably the best in this movie, and he was the most enjoyable in the film. This movie suffers through bad writing, though. This movie's horribly written. The story is not at all original. It doesn't feel like this cool, fresh take on King Arthur. It borrows tropes from other movies, but also being a Ritchie movie. I'll get to the direction in a second, but it feels like a Ritchie movie. There's some things that feel very modernized. It felt like, they're doing, sort of, in a way, pop culture references. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, that makes no sense and stuff. And, again, these characters are horribly written characters. There's not a single compelling or interesting character in this entire film. And again, the story's not laid out properly, it's not executed properly, and it's not written very interestingly. I'm like, oh my god. And you know exactly where the story's going as well. It's a very predictable and very formulaic story. The direction is also a big problem with this movie. It does have that, Guy Ritchie style, that slow-mo, the fast-paced action, that slow-mo and the fast-paced action. It was kind of cool in the first Sherlock Holmes movie, and then he overused it in the second one, and he overuses it even more in this movie. It came off fucking annoying at times. I'm like, slow-mo, the fast motion, then slow-mo, the fast motion. I'm like, oh my god, that's not an original style. I've seen a bajillion people use that style of action, and it's fucking irritating. The Matrix perfected the slow-mo, but honestly, this is half-assed Matrix action. It's just not at all that great, and it's not very creative and stuff, and it gets on your nerves, especially with the shaky cam and the quick cuts. Yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie, and it's irritating to watch. It was so irritating. And yeah, the effects. There's like these big monsters. There's a couple missions King Arthur goes on. He fights these weird random CGI monsters, and they're not very interesting to look at. The CGI is okay. Nothing great, but it's okay. There's some CGI creatures. I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Then there's a few I'm like, obviously cartoony. Very obvious CGI. And yeah, there's like these big epic battle sequences, and those were I was kind of looking forward to, because the one thing I liked about the King Arthur movie, you know, the Antoine Fuqua one, is there were some pretty cool battle sequences, you know, especially the ending of that movie when, like, you know, King Arthur fights Stellan Skarsgård. That's a pretty cool battle sequence. This one, has a lot of CGI. I felt like, you know, when the soldiers were running at each other, I felt like I was watching The Fate and the Furious when all the cars are ramming into each other, the CGI cars. Some people in this movie are CGI, and just the action was just so boring, and just, it had no stakes to it, and just I had zero investment with the story of these characters, so I could care less of what was happening. Like, when characters were getting killed off, and characters were, like, you know, doing awesome things, or apparently awesome things, they weren't entertaining to me, because I didn't care about the story or any of these characters and stuff. And again, there's nothing really cool to me or very interesting to me. Just, it felt very dull. This movie was dull, very uninteresting, and very formulaic. It was a very been there, done that kind of movie. It's a medieval movie that tries very hard to be cool and slick and stylistic, and it fails on all of those counts. It's not a very solid film. I really did not enjoy this movie. Yes, I left the screening of this movie really disappointed, because I wanted to like it because I love Guy Ritchie so much, but at the same time, I'm like, I should have known better. I should have known that this movie would be awful, because it was. It wasn't good. The action wasn't good, the characters weren't good, the story wasn't very interesting, and yeah, I really want them to make a great King Arthur movie. There is not a lot of great King Arthur movies, and I wanted a solid movie, a solid King Arthur film, and this one did not deliver. It's not god-awful, but it's not good in the slightest bit. So yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give the movie King Arthur, Legend of the Sword a 3.8 out of 10. So yeah, I'd skip this one when it comes out. So yeah, that was my review for the movie King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, what is your favorite King Arthur movie? Favorite King Arthur movie? Oh god, like, I don't have a lot of favorites. There's a lot of just very mediocre ones. None of them are really that great. The only ones that are kind of above average, I guess, is I don't mind First Night. You know, the one with Sean Connery? I don't mind that one. And I don't mind Sword of the Stone, you know, the Disney one. Those are okay. Those are pretty above average King Arthur movies. I guess they're the best ones. I don't know. What are your favorite King Arthur movies? Comment below. Let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.